If you've ever had a glass of wine, some leftovers, a strong perfume, or a stressful week, and then you found yourself flushed, itchy, foggy, bloated, or with your heart racing, and then a few hours later, or even a few days later, you feel fine again, this video is for you. And if you've taken that list of symptoms to appointments and have been told your labs look normal, I want you to hear this. You are not crazy, and you're not making it up. There may be a real pattern behind it. I'm Mindy Kidder, and I look at health through a root cause functional lens. A few weeks ago, I was asked about MCAS, or Mast Cell Activation Syndrome. Today, I'm going to talk about it in plain, everyday language. Quick disclaimer before we start, this is for education only and is not medical advice. MCAS is a real condition that needs a licensed provider, and some reactions can be serious. So if you ever have trouble breathing, swelling, feel faint, that's an emergency. Always work with your clinician, and remember, lab tests don't diagnose conditions. They only help identify patterns. Let's start simple. Mast cells are a type of immune cell. Think of them as your body's first responders. They live in the places where your body meets the outside world. This is your skin, your gut, your lungs, your sinuses, and so on. When a mast cell senses a threat, it activates and releases little chemical messengers. The famous one most people know is histamine. There are others too. We call them mediators, but histamine is the one that most people know. And here's the thing. This is a good system. It's how you heal a cut, fight off a bug, or sneeze out dust. We don't want to get rid of mast cells. We just want them to calm down. Mast cells are helpers. The problem is when they overreact. So what's wrong? The mast cells become overreactive. They fire too easily, too often, too strongly, reacting to things that shouldn't set off a big alarm. A normal food, a smell, a stressful moment. Here's the phrase I want you to remember. Your mast cells aren't broken. They're overwhelmed. They're stuck in a jumpy, on-edge state, pulling the fire alarm when there's no fire. MCAS is an overreaction problem, not a you're broken problem. Quick thing before we get going, if this is already ringing true for you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Every week I break down another one of these my labs are normal, but I don't feel normal topics in plain everyday language for women who've been told everything looks fine. I know many of you who are watching are not subscribed. I'd love for the next video to find you. Now, why is this so hard to spot? Because mast cells live all over the body. So the symptoms show up all over the body. And they come and they go. For example, skin may be flushing, itching, hives, feeling hot. Your gut may be nauseated or cramping, bloating, reflux, diarrhea. Your heart may be racing. You have lightheadedness. You feel faint. Sinuses and lungs get congestion. You get a runny nose. You get throat tightness. Your brain may be showing symptoms of brain fog, headaches, trouble focusing, anxiety, or a wired feeling. And across all of it, fatigue. That wiped out feeling after a reaction. The clue is not one symptom. It's a pattern. Several symptoms acting up, symptoms that flare and then settle, and reactions that don't match a normal allergy. Look for the pattern, not a single symptom. Everyone's triggers are a little different, but here are the usual ones. Aged, fermented, or leftover foods are higher in histamine. So think of aged cheese, cured meats, wine, kombucha, and yes, leftovers. Alcohol, stress, heat or big temperature swings, strong smells like perfumes or cleaning products, hard exercise, poor sleep, and even hormonal shifts. Notice how many of those have nothing to do with food. That matters, and we'll come back to it. Food is not only part of the trigger list. Others include stress, heat, smells, and sleep too. Here's a piece a lot of people miss. The air and the spaces around you can stress the body, just like food or worry can. Remember, mast cells live in the parts that meet the outside world. Your skin, your nose, your lungs, your gut. So whatever is in the environment lands on them first. Mold is a big one. It can grow in damp and water-damaged spots, under sinks, in bathrooms, in basements, behind walls, or even a front-load washer. It gives off tiny particles that your immune system can treat as a threat, and for some people, that keeps their mast cells on high alert. The tricky part? Mold can hide where you can't see it, so it often gets missed. Other everyday ones are perfume, air fresheners, scented candles, cleaning sprays, smoke, car exhaust, or that new furniture or new car smell, and fresh paint smell. Now hear me. You do not need a perfect, spotless bubble. You just want to lower the load where it's easy. Switch to fragrance-free soaps and cleaners. Open a window or run a HEPA air filter. Fix leaks fast and dry damp spots within a day or two. And if your symptoms just won't calm down and you've been around water damage or a musty smell, ask your provider about mold. That's one to look into with a professional, not to guess at. Every trigger you clear from your space is one less thing your mast cells have to react to. And if you want to see how mold and other everyday exposures stack into your total load, grab my free hidden inflammation checklist. The link will be in the description below. It can help you better understand the total load you may be dealing with every day. Here's the piece that gets missed a lot, especially for women in their 40s and 50s. Estrogen and histamine feed each other. Estrogen tells mast cells to release more histamine, and it slows down the enzyme that clears histamine out, the enzyme called DAO. So when estrogen is high or swinging up and down like it does in perimenopause and menopause, histamine symptoms can get louder. Some women notice reactions get worse at certain points in their cycle or in the years leading up to menopause. If your symptoms seem to track with your hormones, this is real and a known link. It's not in your head. If symptoms swing with your cycle or you're in perimenopause, hormones may be turning up the volume. Here's how I think about all of this as a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. We don't chase one bad food or one villain. We look at your total load, everything stacking stress on the body at the same time. Mast cells are a perfect example. One trigger alone may not do anything, but stack a poor night's sleep, a stressful day, a glass of wine, a hot room, and a hormonal shift, and the bucket overflows. The reaction you feel is the overflow, not just the last thing you did. So the goal is to never live in a bubble. The goal is to lower the total load so your mast cells can settle down. Your reaction is the bucket overflowing. Lower the total load and the bucket stops spilling. Let me tell you how I organize that with the DRESS framework: diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplementation. Diet. Some people try a lower histamine way of eating for a few weeks. Fresher foods over aged ones. No leftover foods, just to see if things calm down. It's a short experience and a clue finder, not a forever diet, and definitely not a cure. Rest. Histamine follows a daily rhythm, and poor sleep makes mast cells more reactive. Protecting your sleep is real medicine here. Exercise. Gentle movement can help. Walking, easy strength work. Very intense or overheating workouts can be a trigger for some people, so start easy. Stress reduction. This is a big lever. Stress hormones directly poke mast cells. Calming the nervous system, slow breathing, time outside, saying no to a few things can lower reactivity in a way that food simply cannot do alone. Supplementation. You'll hear about DAO, quercetin, and vitamin C. These can all have a place, but please choose them with your licensed clinician instead of just guessing. If you pick one lever, start with stress and sleep. They help calm the entire system. MCAS is generally tricky to diagnose. It usually means working with a knowledgeable provider, ruling out conditions, and looking at the whole picture over time. No single lab test diagnoses it. Labs help fill in the story. And a safety note here, I never skip. For some people, mast cell reactions can be severe. If you ever have trouble breathing, swelling of the lips, tongue, throat, or feel faint, this is an emergency. Call for help right away and follow the plan your provider gave you. And you might be wondering where someone like me fits in. As a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, I don't diagnose or treat anything specifically. This includes MCAS. I also don't prescribe any medicines. Those are all your provider's job. I work on the foundations underneath and help you lower your total load. If your symptoms are mild, that lifestyle work is often where the biggest relief comes from. If they're more severe, I work alongside your medical team, never in place of them. They lead the diagnosis and treatment, and I support the daily pieces so everything pulls in the same direction. Get a licensed provider on your team and treat trouble breathing, swelling, and fainting as an emergency. If your symptoms don't add up and normal labs haven't given you the answer, you don't have to keep guessing. Visit myheartforhealth.net. You can learn more, schedule a call, and subscribe to my weekly newsletter. And if you find that this was helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's been told everything looks fine, but they know something is off. Now I'd like to hear from you. What's your strongest trigger? Is it a food, a smell, heat, stress, something else? Drop it in the comments below. Your mast cells are not broken. They're just overwhelmed. Lower the load and they can settle. I'm Mindy Kidder for My Heart for Health, and I'll see you in the next video.